Hi, it's Marco from Moose Marketing on PR, the editor of Punchline magazine. Welcome to Punchline Talks Politics. Today I'm with Rachel Reeves, the Shadow Chancellor of the Exchequer. Hello, Rachel.
Really
Very
nice
to meet you. Fantastic you're visiting Gloucester today. Have you ever been here before?
I have, but it's not a part of the world I know particularly well. I'm an MP up in Yorkshire, so that's where I spend most of my time. But it's great to be here supporting our candidate, Alex, as the election approaches.
Now, obviously, I don't know if you know, but Gloucester's had nearly £1 billion of investment here over the last 20 years from the Tory party. And there's been an awful lot of levelling up money. As you can see from the square behind us, there was £20 million pumped in over here. What can the Labour Party offer Gloucester? Is there any extra money going sloshing around? And for the county?
Well, of course, when we were last in office, we rebuilt the hospital here in Gloucester, as well as the investment in the college. So we're proud of what we did last time we were in government, but we haven't been in power for the last 14 years. If we're in government, my number one commitment as the person who wants to be Chancellor of the Exchequer is to bring stability back to the economy. Because I know for families and indeed businesses here in Gloucester, the stability is essential to be able to plan with confidence for the future. So the soaring mortgage rates, interest rates, the higher cost of the weekly food shop and energy bills, those have all put real pressure on family finances and business finances as well. So my number one commitment is to make sure that the sums always add up, not to spend money that the government doesn't have, but instead to bring stability back to our economy so people have more of their own money in their pockets and can plan for the future.
Now, one of the things business people are telling me and telling our publication are really worried about, the cost of living wage, minimum wage has just gone up. It's now £11.44. And they're really worried that, the Labour Party might come in and actually raise it again. Now, I know, there is a cost of living crisis out there, but it's a cost to business as well. While the people get the money, like for myself, I've got Punchline delivery at the moment. It's actually put on £800 for this one publication. What have you got to say about that? Is there, has the Labour Party got plans to put up the minimum wage?
Well, we keep the Low Pay Commission that independently sets the rate of the minimum wage, but we do want to turn the minimum wage into a real living wage, because the truth is that too many people on the minimum wage are then reliant on the state topping up their incomes, and the majority of children who are growing up in poverty today are in a family where at least one person works. So we need to make sure that work pays, and that will also incentivise more people to take work as well. But we will keep with that independent Low Pay Commission to set the rate of the minimum wage, but to take into account the cost of living when they do that.
Now, one of the big things over here, we have King's School, we have a lot of independent schools here. A lot of the headmasters I've talked to are very worried about the, paying the VAT. I know you've got a kind of set thing on that, but surely a lot of people will leave the schools, the independent schools, and then go into the public sector schools, and they just don't have the staff.
Well, let's focus on the schools that are state schools, because there's probably around 30 state schools here in Gloucester, and I expect in many of those you've got huge problems of recruitment and retention of teachers. There's not qualified teachers, particularly in subjects like maths. Young people at state schools often not getting access to music, drama, sports in the way that they once did, and are often taught in classrooms that are literally falling down in many cases. And I want to make sure that all kids get a really good start in life, not just those whose parents are able to afford those private school fees. And that's why we've said, yes, we make the tough decision to introduce VAT and business rates on private schools. I expect that many of those private schools can make efficiencies in the same way that state schools have had to make efficiencies these last 14 years. Every single penny of that money will be ploughed back into our state schools to recruit 6,500 additional teachers to teach in our state schools, because I passionately believe that kids at all types of schools have got potential, but unless you've got a teacher that's properly qualified, unless you're taught in a classroom that is a proper classroom, not a porter cabin, you're not going to get the best start in life. And I want kids here in Gloucester, or all schools, to have that great start in life.
I mean, my daughter's a teacher actually, second year, and it is very difficult, I must admit. But where are these teachers going to come from? The new doctors, the new teachers, all these police you've asked to come along. Where are these? Where are you going to find them?
Of course, we did have more police before the Tories cut them all. So we will recruit. Obviously, you can't magic teachers and certainly not doctors overnight. You've got to train to do those jobs. But we've got to get started. Just because things might take a while doesn't mean you shouldn't start. Some people say, you know, oh, you won't be able to recruit the doctors in the first term of a Labour government because it takes 7 years to train them. Absolutely, but you shouldn't put off making those sorts of decisions because it's not politically advantageous. So we need to start training up our young people to do those jobs that we desperately need. And we've got more people applying to medical school, for example, every year than there are places. People who are getting straight A's in their A-levels who want to choose that vocation in medicine, in looking after us, and yet we're turning them away. So let's expand the number of people who are going through medical school, and let's also make sure that we're recruiting the teachers to make sure that our young people have the skills to set them up. And I know when I talk to businesses, often the number one thing they say is, we struggle to recruit people with the skills that we need. So let's make sure that our young people are leaving school and college and university with the skills they need, and then reform the apprenticeship levy too to make it easier for businesses to train up the workforce they need.
Last question, Rachel, really. Everybody I meet, by the way, sports stars, celebrities, politicians, I always ask them for their top 3 business tips. So what would your top 3 business tips be, please?
Well, always think about how you can invest and grow your business. Make sure, though, that you're not spending money that you don't have, and treat your workforce with respect, because the best asset any business has is its workforce. So invest in them and treat them well, and then they'll look after your business.
Rachel Reeves, thanks ever so much for talking to Punchline Talks today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.